Welcome back to The Talk. I'm still here with Robin and Caden, and we have another guest.
So I just wanted to show you how different shells can be. We talked a little bit about these animals having the same bones we do. And you can take a look, follow that arrow down. They have the same backbone and ribs that we do. But then their shells can take different shapes and forms. This is called a mata turtle. It lives in the shallow waters of the rainforest. And you can see how his shell and even his body looks like a decaying leaf. You can see the little fringes coming off. So instead of swimming around, he will bury in the shallow waters, and look at this super long neck. His neck is so long that it can't fit into his shell. He's part of the group of turtles called the side neck turtles, and he's showing that off for you. And what he'll do is he'll send that long neck up with that little snorkel nose to take a breath of air and come back down. And if you see those tiny eyes,
they're
so
like
much smaller,
a pinprick.
Like a pinprick. So he's not using his eyes to see in the murky waters. Instead, the fringe tell him the displacement of the water as a fish swims by. He opens his mouth like a vacuum, shoots his neck out, and that's how he gets his food.
Oh, he is so cool.
Now, all these turtles are going to hatch out of small, soft-shelled eggs, and Caden has with us a small, yellow-bellied slider turtle. So all their eggs are going to be is like this itty-bitty small shape.
Wow.
And Caden's going to go and get us one more turtle, because most people think of turtles as having hard shells.
Yes.
But there are soft-shelled turtles. Just like this turtle, those turtles are going to lay in the muck, and they're going to use that soft shell to camouflage. They have the super long neck and the snorkel nose.
Very nice. And so what is this guy's name?
This guy here, we don't have a name for him.
Okay.
Usually they name themselves quite quickly. We've had him for several months and no name yet.
Gotcha.
Now this one's name is Shelly.
Wow.
And you can see her shell. Go ahead and feel the difference.
Yes.
It feels like
my.
leather, right?
It does.
And again, for the size of her head, her eyes are really small. She's got that piggy snorkel nose and amazing webbed feet for swimming.
Can I touch her feet?
Absolutely. They feel really nice. Try the back one.
Okay.
Don't they
That's
feel
her tail.
nice?
I got her tail.
They're very thin. To me, they almost feel like bat wings. They're so thin. Look at that.
Yes, that is, it is, yeah. That's interesting, and not what I thought it would feel like.
Now there's one last turtle. Do we have time for one more?
Yeah, let's do one last.
So we have a box turtle, native right here to Georgia, the eastern box turtle. It does a poor job of being a turtle. It's not a good swimmer, doesn't have great webbed feet, it's got a big kind of a bump shell. So what this animal does is instead of swimming across the water, he'll get on his tiptoes, takes a breath of air, fills up his lungs, tiptoes across the bottom of the pond. But when he starts running out of oxygen, there's a place on his body where the skin is really thin, and he gets dissolved oxygen from the water through there. Well, Caden, can you tell her what part of that body it is?
His butt.
His butt. There is a group of butt-breathing turtles. In fact, in Australia, they have a turtle known as the butt-breathing turtle of Australia.
Whoa.
It needs to get most of its air that way, so it has to keep its butt in the water all the time. One more thing these guys can do is they have a hinge here.
Yes.
Now, this guy's been with us his whole life, so he's not going to go in his shell. But in the wild, his head and his front legs would go in his shell. He would close this up all the way, and he would look like a helmet. And that way, no animal could pull him out. He can be safe in camouflage.
That is amazing. I love it. Pardon me. So let's go on to some of our furry friends now.
Absolutely.
What do you want to start with?
So Caden is going to bring us our African hedgehog. So we don't have a shell to protect ourselves. Instead, we're going to have spines.
Okay.
So a lot of people think it's a baby porcupine. It's not a baby porcupine. Porcupines have quills, not spines. But just like the porcupine, this animal does not shed or it does not throw its quills or spines. They do shed them, just like we shed our hair. In fact, just to be extra safe, I'm going to wear my little leather glove here because they are really spiny. They kind of feel like a real sharp toothpick.
Oh.
But can you see why hedgehogs are often found in children's books? They're so cute.
Yes.
So they have an extra muscular ring.
Oh.
If they're not sure about their environment, they tighten that ring. They put the soft spots of their body, their head, their tummy, their tail, their toes on the inside. Then they stick out that nose, and they can sniff around to learn about their environment. When they see their environment safe, they unroll.
How about that?
And what they would do now is they would go looking for food. Their main
if I do
food
this,
source,
can he or she smell?
She can.
Oh.
You want to feel the spikes and see how they feel?
Yeah. Oh, little spiky there.
Right.
Yes.
So when they get scared, they kind of push them out towards their predator, but they're not going to shoot. Now, even though she's mostly an insectivore, and she's so cute and tiny, she can actually kill and eat scorpions and kill and eat venomous snakes. So she's a tough little girl.
She's so pretty.
Now, most animals with little legs can't climb trees. This one is a great climber. If a bug goes up a tree, she'll follow it up, but no hedgehog has found an easy way to climb down. So to climb back down, she rolls into a ball and she bounces down from branch to branch.
That is so cool.
And that's how she unrolls. Now, Caden has for us a snake that also comes to us from Africa. We'll put Callie back. Her name, Callie, K-A-L-I, means prickly in Swahili. One of the many languages they speak there. And Caden's going to bring out his sand boa. So a Kenyan sand boa is going to live in Africa, but he's going to live under the sand. So unlike most snakes, he's got a nose that's made for digging. And he'll stay under the sand. He'll feel the vibrations of the sand when there's a food source, and he'll pop his head up and pull his food under the sand.
What a pretty pattern.
Isn't that beautiful? Well, that's really special of him, not really the common sand boa, because he's a paradox albino. So he's not strictly albino because he doesn't have pink eyes and he has those black ink spots. And that makes him have that bright orange color and still have the black eyes and those ink spots. Now, most people think snakes are one long tail, but Caden, show them how much of his body is really a tail. Just that little end part. The rest, again, has the spine like we do and those little itty bitty ribs. Now, Caden's favorite thing for me to ask people about snakes is, how many poisonous snakes do you think we have in the wild?
Oh my goodness. In the world?
In the world.
100.
100, that's a great guess.
What?
But it's kind of a trick question, isn't it, Caden? Tell her what's true about that.
0.
What?
There are no poisonous snakes in the world. There are venomous. So venomous and poisonous animals are different.
Okay.
A poisonous dart frog has poison even in his little toe. Venom actually has to be injected. You could eat the whole venomous snake and just not eat the venom sacs and never get sick. So venom is injected and poison is exuded. Thank you, Caden. Well, I think we need to get even fuzzier.
Okay, let's do it.
So we are going to bring out a lion head rabbit.
Okay.
Not a rabbit you would see in the wild. It was actually developed by the pet trade in Europe. 7 different bunnies crossed, including the Angora, and it gives this bunny a mane. So the lion head bunny was bred, first of all, for the cuteness, the great big mane, and also because it has a great disposition. And I'm going to let Caden share with you.
Oh,
Isn't she adorable?
she is beautiful.
So you see the mane around the neck.
Yes.
Male lions have that mane to amplify their roar, to protect their neck in a fight. For this animal, it's just for fun. Now take a look at those eyes too. Do you see she has marbled eyes?
I do.
That can also be a common trait of the lion head bunny. It's brown on one part and blue on the other. Now if you take a look at her head, you see great big ears and eyes on the side of her head. These are animals we have to be careful with noise and movement because their great big ears scoop extra sound out of the air, so whatever we hear, they hear louder. Also, eyes on the side of their head means they're a prey animal. While they're eating grass, they're watching out from predators that might be sneaking up beside. Well, if you want to pet her, see how soft she is.
I do.
Most people think bunny rabbits are the softest animals in the world.
Yes.
But the next animal we're going to share you is actually the softest.
We're going to have to hold off on that, but stay with us.